Oh, sorry. Well, good evening, everybody. Michael Soothing here. In my last paper reading and gum chewing video, I told you I would come back and read you the crime report because sometimes those can be amusing to read. Now, I haven't read it yet, so we'll be doing it together. I don't know if whatever's in there will be interesting or boring. We will find out. In this paper, they call it the dispatch log. Dispatch log. Here, you can read all the stories and then tell me what's in it. Here you go. Did you get them all? Good. Now I don't have to read it to you. But I'm going to anyway. Wait. First, I need a sip of water so that I will have a lubricious voice. Because it feels a little scratchy tonight, then I will also have a stick of this yummy gum, which is strawberry and apple, as I told you in the previous video when we were reading another paper. Okay. Let me get the full effect of the flavor for a second before I start in. What is the first story? Okay, first, I don't believe this guy's name. Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office. St. Michael's Church vandalism. Deputies contacted Rolling Thunder. Really, that's his name? After he was seen breaking into St. Michael's Church. Easley was found to have warrants for his arrest and initially lied about who he was. It's tough to lie about your name if your name is Rolling Thunder, isn't it? While deputies were walking Easley handcuffed to their car, he took off running towards the San Lorenzo River. In an attempt to elude deputies, Easley entered the river, still handcuffed. That doesn't make for very good swimming, I must say. However, he became cornered in a small cove where he could not walk out. And it doesn't say, but there's some yucky things in that river this time of year. I know the San Lorenzo very well. Sometimes these evil-looking things called sea lampreys migrate up and spawn along with the steelhead. It's this eel that has this sucker mouth that looks like the alien. You know, it latches on to fish and sucks blood out of them. Look it up on the internet. Sea lamprey, Lamprey. Nasty looking things. Let's see what the next story. 6,000 block of Graham Hill Road. An unidentified subject made overt movements to steal a lighter from a liquor store. The owner confronted the subject. I'm just laughing because I can imagine all of this over a $1 lighter. A struggle ensued. The subject kicked and punched the victim and ran out. Okay, it was an $8 lighter. Ran out with an $8 torch lighter. Follow-up investigation will continue to obtain video surveillance. Are you kidding me? If you're going to commit a felony, don't you think you'd want to do it for something other than an $8 cigarette lighter? This must be a Darwin Award winner week for criminals or something. You think I made up that story, but there it is, right there, just in case you want to see. Oh, that's not it, right there. Okay? That's the story. So you see, I didn't make it up. What's the next one? Oh, it happened at my lucky number 333 AM. See? Just below my finger. 333 AM. Highway 9, Ben Lomond. Trespassing. Deputies were dispatched to a trespassing complaint and determined that no crime occurred. That was important to put in the paper. 9:47. Deputies responded for a report of an unknown female trespassing in a garage and sitting in the sink. Wow. I've never heard of such a violent felony in my life. She broke into their garage and sat in the sink. Let's hope she didn't do anything in the sink that would violate, my germophobic tendencies, So, proper standards of sanitation, if you know what I mean. Because I'm not so sure otherwise what in the heck they're talking about. Oh, it says they placed her on hold for transport to Dominican Hospital. I think that means she was going to a 72-hour hold in the psych ward. And if you ask me nice, sometime I'll tell you about when I worked at that very hospital when I was 19 years old and I was going to college, and what experience I had with that psych ward. All right, I'll give you a hint. I was an orderly, on the night shift, pushing a cart down the hallway, and I had to go into the psych ward. We had to do special unlocking and everything to go in there. I got in there and I was doing my rounds, and this door flew open, and this naked girl flew out and latched onto me like, well, I guess I'll have to use the alien once again. Remember how the alien went on that guy's face like that? Okay, well, she wasn't on my face like that, but her body was latched onto me, and I couldn't pry her off. I didn't know what to do, and the nurses came over and somehow managed to pry her off of me. But I'll never forget that experience. It wasn't pleasant. It was a little scary, if you want to know the truth. But anyway. But most days, I remember for about a month, there was someone there. This other lady was always trying to get me to give her a ride on the cart thing. And she thought it was something else, but always she wanted to ride on that cart. It was just for laundry and stuff, But she thought it was a trolley or something. Anyway, I'm not making fun of those people because I've known people personally who were in there before from time to time, and it's serious business, but some of the stories are pretty strange and amusing in a way. All right. soft spot for people that are mentally ill because oftentimes they can't help it. And it's very sad. And we closed all the a lot of the psychiatric facilities back in the 1980s. Okay, so anyway, let's see what else. It's another female trespass. California Drive, 10:49 a.m. Ben Lomond. Female subject previously admonished to not be on the property. Female subject had a misdemeanor warrant and she was booked into county jail. It always makes me feel like there's more to the story than what we're getting there, doesn't it, you? 8:37 a.m. Highway 9. Boulder Creek assault. A subject was battered following a road rage incident. Insufficient evidence for further investigation. That means that perpetrator got away and no one got his license plate. Much too bad. 10:15 a.m. 6000 block of Graham Hill Road, Felton. That's about a mile from where I used to live. Subject had 0.3 grams presumptive positive methamphetamine. Cited and released. Wow. I didn't think they let you go when you had meth. They only detain you and arrest you if you have marijuana, I guess, which is now legal in Oregon and California. What are they going to do with the cops episodes now? Because so many of them are marijuana busts. They'll have to show something different, won't they? 11:59 a.m. West Drive, Felton. Assault. Suspect attacked a victim with a knife, causing multiple lacerations. The investigation is following up. Ooh, that sounds pretty scary and serious. Reminds me of some of those scary movies I've seen. 1:11 p.m. 2 Bar Road, Boulder Creek. Wow. I used to live on 2 Bar Road. It's not way up, but it goes up a canyon up above Boulder Creek. And I lived there for a couple of years until the flood of 1982 scared me away from there when giant redwood trees were coming down, crashing and destroying everything in their path. Anyway, an unknown male suspect assaulted someone and he fell to the ground. While down, he was kicked twice by the suspect. No suspect information. I have a feeling the victims don't want the cops to investigate further in some of these stories for some reason. Perhaps drug-related reasons. I don't know. 1 a.m. Graham Hill Road, Felton. Subject had 5.5 grams presumptive positive methamphetamine. Cited and released. 5:08 a.m. Items were stolen from an unlocked vehicle while parked overnight. Total value of items taken was approximately $400. Can you explain to me why you would park in a remote area in the forest in the dark at night and leave expensive items in an unlocked car, or as the police say, an unlocked vehicle? Notice, in cop speak, there's no such thing as a car. There are only vehicles. Anyway, That's kind of asking for theft, isn't it? Not that I'm, rationalizing it on the part of the bad guy, but gee, 7:08 a.m. Felton. Suspect camping in her trailer was on probation. Deputies searched her vehicle and located a usable quantity of methamphetamine and also a methamphetamine pipe. She was cited for the violations and released with a court date. They're letting all the meth users go. No wonder there's road rage incidents and things going on. 1021 Elena Drive, Ben Lomond. Burglary. Okay, moving on away from Santa Cruz County. Now we'll talk about the Scotts Valley Police Department. That was my town from 1989 until I moved here to Oregon, was Scotts Valley. That's why I brought you this old paper from when I was down there, 3 weeks ago. My last trip down to California. 5:42 p.m. at Scotts Valley High School, Glenwood Drive, a traffic accident, head-on collision, which resulted in one of the vehicles catching fire. One of the involved parties was transported by ambulance regarding injuries as a result of the collision. How did they do that? At the high school, it's a 25 mile per hour zone there. Somebody was trying to do something crazy in order to cause that accident. Very strange. 7:41 p.m. Mount Herman Road. Larceny. The subject attempted to steal 3 bottles of alcohol and was confronted by employees outside the store, where he discarded the items and left on foot towards another store. So he tossed the alcohol and then what? Went to a different store to get some? I don't know. Anyway, what else? 9:34 p.m. Country Lane, resisting arrest. Officer responded to report of an occupied suspicious vehicle in the area, located the parked vehicle, and attempted to contact the driver as he was exiting the vehicle. Once again, no one gets out of a car. They exit a vehicle. Did you ever notice on Cops, the TV show, there are 4 words in the English language that every cop must say multiple times on each show? Do you know what those 4 words are? You get a prize if you can tell me before I tell you. Okay, your time's up. The 4 words are, get on the ground. Okay? Those are the 4 words that every cop loves to say on each episode of Cops. Should I turn this into a whisper video now? My voice is starting to slide because it's late at night and it's getting to be allergy season. But another sip of water might cure me. Okay, where was I? Okay, so the officer announced his presence and asked to speak with the male subject, who ignored the officer and began to walk away. The officer told the subject to stop, at which point he ran from the officer down the hillside. The officer pursued him down the hillside and placed him into custody. Dispatch advised the suspect was a DUI probation and was required to have an interlock device in his car, as well as a searchable probation. A search of the vehicle located marijuana, a bong, and an open container of alcohol. This is another Darwin Award winner on probation, sitting there being a creep, inviting neighbors to call and say, there's a creep sitting outside in the dark in his car in a strange neighborhood, and he's got everything in the car to get him arrested for probation violation. Anyway, so what else happened? The passenger in the vehicle stated that driving and drinking and driving from Santa Cruz to Scotts Valley. That made no sense. Let me read that again. The editor of this paper messed up. I'm going to read you this sentence exactly as it is constructed. The passenger of the vehicle stated that drive was drinking and driving from Santa Cruz to Scotts Valley. Is this guy named Drive or Driver? No. Okay, so anyway, 12 p.m., Vicky Court, credit card fraud. Somebody stole my card information once, and it's quite a pain in the rear end if you don't catch it right away. Luckily I did, because my bank called me right away and said, did you by chance make several purchases in Florida, Texas, and Denver, Colorado, all in the same day within a period of a couple hours? And I said to the person calling from the fraud unit, the detection unit, I said, what do you think? But I wasn't sarcastic in my tone, and they said, we don't think that you did. And I said, you're quite right. They were, so they immediately froze my card, reversed all those charges. But you never know how, well, I know how they got my info in this case, so here's the warning to you. I was on business travel, and I was staying at a Courtyard by Marriott using their Wi-Fi system. I bought something on Amazon or something. I put on my card number, and somebody snagged it out of the air. That was about 10 years ago. Before I wised up, I never did such a thing again, I can assure you. Let's see here. MasterCard information was used in a store. The complainant never lost possession of her card. She canceled the card the same day of the bogus transaction after being informed the value of the transaction was over $1,000. It's a pretty big credit card fraud swipe. 1:16 p.m. Mount Hermon, where I also used to live. I grew up there from age 12 to age 25, 27, something like that. Hit and run, no injuries. An officer was able to contact an elderly driver who had left the area. The elderly driver did the hit and run. The elderly driver said he checked but didn't see any damage and thought that his four-wheel drive had just slipped out of gear. Yeah, right. The driver provided his personal and vehicle information. 3:16 p.m., Mount Hermon Road again. Larceny. The complainant believes that a subject skimmed her card and advised she was at a convenience store As she approached the business, a subject asked her for a hug. Two guys in their 20s, which she did. Ladies, if two strangers in their 20s approach you and ask for a hug, I suggest that you decline their polite offer. What I meant to say was, I suggest you politely decline their offer. Perhaps by pulling out a can of mace or a handgun from your purse, okay? Anyway, let's see what else happened. She discovered that her card was used the next day at that same store. She has already canceled her credit card and requires no further action at this time. That was quite a hug. I hope it was worth it. This is the final one on the dispatch log. 11:35 p.m., Granite Creek. Officer conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle for a mechanical violation. A routine record check revealed the driver did not have a valid license. The officer utilized onboard K9 to conduct a free air sniff, which resulted in a positive alert. That means the dog smelled something. A search of the vehicle yielded various items of paraphernalia and multiple prescription pills for which the owner did not have a prescription, like oxycodone and stuff probably. The passenger was cited for being in possession of prescription pills without a prescription. Again, the editor messed up. Somebody's going to have to get a new editor for this Scotts Valley paper. Listen to this sentence. Being in possession of prescription pills without a prescription, the vehicle. Period. Does that make any sense to you? No, not to me either. All right, that's it for the dispatch log. And so that will wrap it up for today's video. I know some of you have been complaining about ads popping up in the middle of my videos. I'm trying to email YouTube and my partnering firm and get to the bottom of it, because I always set on my options, I set to only at the beginning or the end should any ads occur, so I know I'm doing it right, but they're messing up, so I'll continue to try to hound them. But other than that, I don't know what else to do, so I apologize if that's happening. I'll try to continue to work it on my end. Meanwhile, if you like paper reading, gum chewing videos, or any of the other videos I make, please subscribe and thumb up. I would so appreciate it. Although if I even relax, I've told you in comments, if I even soothe and relax one person, then it's worthwhile to me. And some people have told me they were helped, including with medical things and stress and terrible problems they were going through, like operations. And one guy had, I don't know, Hodgkin's disease or something, all kinds of stuff like that. And that really makes it worthwhile if I can help anyone. So I will continue to make these videos. All right. Anyway, don't ASMR and drive. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.